Coming up next, we have Josh Van taking on Kevin Borjas. Both only have one loss in professional mixed martial arts, with Van having 5 knockouts and 2 submissions to his name, as well as 1 decision, while Borjas offers us 8 KOs, 0 submissions, and 1 decision. Van is the younger fighter here. He's at 22 years of age. He's rose quickly through Fury FC, and now he's coming into the UFC to take on one of Peru's best, I would say, and Kevin Borjas, one of Peru's not many, but one of their best. Rick, what do you have here for this fight?
Yeah, I think it should be a pretty fun fight. This is one that I don't expect to get to the ground at all. It could if Josh Van wants it to. It will not if Borjas wants it to. Borjas is as true a Muay Thai specialist as there are. And he's good. I mean, he's damn good at it. There's a reason he's 9-1, making his UFC debut after a Dana White Contender Series loss to Mendez. But he's talented. His knees up the middle are fantastic. And I really love his body work and how he's able to mix some of his kicks and body work and then go body, head. And his right hand's got some unbelievable power. Now, the caveat to him and what could get him caught in this by a powerful Van is that he doesn't really move his feet much. When he's trying to be defensive, he likes to move his head back and avoid shots. If you're watching the video, you can see me move back unathletically and try to dodge them, which can really get him in trouble because that chin can stay a little bit high and he can get hit. He likes to take one to give one in that regard, and he's going up against a guy in Van that likes to do much of the same. Van is no stranger to competition. He's fought 8 times now in the last 2 years. But what I don't like about Van is that he doesn't throw in combination much. He likes to throw a lot of single shots, and he's not really always pressuring the opponent. And so I expect Borjas to really be on the front foot here, and it's going to be a matter of whether he is able to contain himself and not overexpose himself to one of those counter shots from Van. The odds in this one are interesting, and we'll get to them in a second. But I like Borjas' ability on the feet to be able to do more damage in different ways than Josh Van. I think he's got more tools in the toolkit per se. But I do worry a little bit about him getting clipped because Van has some incredible power himself from both sides, from the left and right side. And so it'll be interesting because he's got some good elbows and kicks himself. But I like Borjas. I think he's got the advantage on the feet slightly in my eyes. And that reach advantage could pay dividends with that long sort of step back that he likes to do or that lean back. It could allow him to still land while avoiding some of those shots from Van. So it'll be interesting. Andy, who do you got in the fight?
So in the actual fight itself, I am going to pick Van. I think that I'm not a huge fan of Borjas' kind of sit back and throw style where I feel like he's going to leave himself susceptible to Van. However, I know that Borjas is not bad at that style, right? Like I think that he could clip this young guy, newcomer with one. Like it is clear that the UFC has had their eyes on Van for a very long time because he's only fought in Fury FC and the UFC in his professional career. Like they've been bringing him up through this promotion. And then when the opportunity arose, they brought him in short notice against Zalgas Zamagulov. Rest in peace to his UFC career, to the legend Coconut Head himself.
Coconut Head.
But yeah, absolutely. I think that Borjas is good value though because of that, because of the inexperience of Van, even though I consider Van to be the more skilled fighter. And if it was even odds both ways, I'd be picking Van. I just think that at plus 185 odds, you're getting a real bargain here and some really solid value. So for me personally, and I believe that you are also on the same wave here, I am going to be taking Borjas. You can get him at plus 200 right now on FanDuel. And that's part of what these odds vary. And you make sure you line shop around, right? But I'll be throwing half a unit on him plus 200 on FanDuel just because of the discrepancy in what the value is, in my opinion. I think it should be a lot closer than that. He should be able to put some damage on Van, as well as that Muay Thai, the Muay Thai specialist that he is. It will be a more difficult striking matter than just your standard boxer, your standard street fighter. You know what I mean? So I'll be going with Borjas. What do you have?
Yeah, I've got Borjas too. Simply put, I think that it's a lot closer fight than it indicates. We've got two guys that are going to be, no matter who loses the fight, they'll be in the UFC for a long time. Two very powerful strikers. Now, Borjas needs to improve his takedown defense. That's not going to get tested too much in this fight. But both of these guys, I mean, Van is 22, Borjas is 25. They've only got room to grow and continue to improve. So I'm interested to see what improvements they've made between camps because I'm sure there's a lot of those. But I've got Borjas at plus 200. If you can give me 200, I'll take 200 for a half unit. And then I've got the under 2.5. I think that both these guys being strikers and being dangerous with a bunch of weapons, one will be able to prove to be able to get it done, even at the flyweight division. So.
Yep, and I can get you that under 2.5 at minus 110 right now.
Oh, beautiful.
Yep. So Rick is going with Borjas for his bet as well as his pick. I'm going with Van as my pick, but Borjas for my bet due to the significant value discrepancy in my mind. Rick also has the under 2.5 at minus 110. Both plays for Rick at half a unit as well as my bet at half a unit too. Stay with us as we continue on with the next fight on the card, which is Kyung Ho Kong versus John Castaneda. Stay tuned.